So I recently got into Littlest Pet Shop customizing. It's been a lot of fun, and it's definitely one of my new favorite hobbies lately. I really like designing new characters, and collecting them is so fun. I just wanted to show them off real quick. Here I am doing so using this broken pop socket. It's also been something me and my girlfriend have been getting into together, so that's just been so cutesy and fun for us. And that brings us to today. I got this panda bear in a blind box, and I was not a fan, gonna be honest. Ugly, 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 ugly. But I really wasn't that mad because if there's a Littlest Pet Shop that I don't like the paint job of or the design of, I kind of just know that that's another opportunity to do some customizing, which has been so fun. I basically started by just removing the base paint with some acetone. It's one of the pandas, one of the ones where the eye.
The eye comes out?
Yeah.
Yay! I think the one's from that blind box series.
The white base already makes this thing.
Oh, she's white.
This creature looks.
Oh, I see.
I forgot that she came with this. Whoa.
What's that sound?
The sound of her getting her bow. Aww.
Scared.
This is the design we're going for, which means we need to sand here and anywhere I added little tufts of fur.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. This is the Sculpey, and I've been using this one ball for every custom I've made because they're so small, it doesn't take a lot. So this is like a lifetime supply of Sculpey. And then my lovely girlfriend bought us some clay tools because I've just been using my dirty, crusty fingers.
Ew.
Wait. Oh, like that.
Oh, my lord. Mm-mm.
What?
It just looks, the placement of what I was doing looked bad. You got a big forehead. Gotta put it lower down. That's better, but now kind of, I didn't want to give you like bangs. I just wanted you to have a little hair tuft. I don't think she looks too bald. Does she look too bald to you?
Oh, I just got rid of some back there.
Acetone on a Q-tip to smooth out any fingertips and stuff. Not too much that it wears away at it. Once I got the top of the head, I went ahead and started adding some cheek fur, and I really like the clay tools that my girlfriend got me. They helped a lot. It's a lot harder to get more detailed with just your fingers, obviously, and it leaves prints, and it's just a lot more refined with the tools. I did also go ahead and add a little more to the tail because I just wanted it to be a little bigger. But after that, the sculpting was done. She got baked in the oven, and now I'm just sanding it down to smooth out any rough edges or imperfections that I want to be smoother. And that usually doesn't take too long, and I don't use a super high grit so that it doesn't wear away at it too much. I don't know why I went with this color when I was dry brushing the base because it is way too dark. I end up having to paint over it like two other times when I realized that it wasn't the color I wanted. Yeah, here's the lighter color. Still not right. It's like super muted when obviously the design is supposed to be this like vibrant pink. So a little bit of a fumble there, but it's not a big deal because the layers I was doing, I tried to keep pretty thin. And I have not the best paints anyway, so it tends to take a lot of layers to build up. Here's when the color started to get semi more in the pink zone. I really am not a fan of whatever fleshy muted thing I had going on before, but it's fine. We get there eventually. Whenever I'm painting Littlest Pet Shops, I feel like it's a really big like trust the process because I feel like for maybe 90% of the custom, she looks so messy until basically the very end when I'm refining and cleaning up all the details. But the stakes aren't like crazy high because anything will be an improvement when you're customizing an LPS that you already didn't like the paint job of. And worst comes to worst, I can always remove the paint job I did as well. Luckily, didn't have to do that. I should also definitely be wearing gloves or cleaning my hands in some form because I just get paint all over me, but it's fine. Kirby was outside the window while I was working. She's one of our outdoor kitties that came with the house.
She's getting feeded.
She's looking a little messy, and I'm gonna clean her up now because she just like has a milk mustache. When I first was starting to get into Littlest Pet Shop customs, I already had one cow from a blind box that we got forever ago that I kind of just let my cats use as a toy, or I didn't let them. It wasn't my choice. It was more their choice. I would have him on my desk and then they would decide to move him around and chew on him a little bit. So that's where my first custom came from because I figured he'd be good practice because he already had like teeth marks in him. So he needed a little fixing up anyway. And so that's how I made my little Moscow Mossy. And I actually think he is so cute for my first custom. And the only thing I had a hard time with was his sealant. You could probably tell in the beginning when I showed him, but he's still pretty glossy and parts of him are tacky just because I didn't know at the time the best way to seal him in. So yeah, it's definitely like been a learning process for every single one of my customs, even though I've only made, I think this is my fifth one. And now my main issue is I need to figure out how to display them because I don't want my cats chewing on them, obviously. I've been keeping them in our craft room, which is a no cats allowed zone because they're naughty. And I just want a really cute way to display them. I was kind of stressed about the eyes because I feel like it's the first thing you look at when you look at an LPS custom. And once again, I had to trust the process because I'm a messy worker. I'm a messy painter. I always have been no matter what medium it is. I have never been neat about it, but I think that's what I like about paint so much is that like you're kind of allowed to be messy and make mistakes because it like is so opaque and it layers well and you can cover things up and tweak things when you want. I it kind of is still like a fun process for me to see it get cleaner and cleaner over time. And I kind of just when I'm working go back and forth all over the place on her because I'm like letting the eyes dry, so while I'm letting those dry, I go back to like the rainbow on the stomach and so on and so forth so I don't like mess it up by working on something that's wet. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like cell shading for the eyes or more of a blended gradient, and I ended up going with the gradient, which I do really like how it turned out, but it took forever to blend because the acrylics on such thin layers dry really quickly, which makes it harder to blend. I did briefly consider maybe trying the glass-eyed LPS look for this custom, but I decided to just go with a normal paint job just because I've never done one of those before and I'd rather practice that on an LPS that's maybe a little more busted up or older or something. Just I wanted to be on the safe side, but I do really want to try that soon because I think they look so pretty and I have all the supplies for it already. So I also need to get brave and start taking the head off of the body because I do think it would make things a lot cleaner, maybe I wouldn't get so much paint all over me and maybe I could get in the nooks and crannies better, but for some reason I've just been scared to. But I know it's like not that big of a deal. And obviously I can't do the glass-eyed look without removing the head. So we're just going to tackle things one thing at a time. One really fun thing about having and living with your girlfriend who is also really into arts and crafts is that we have like strengths in different areas. So like June, my girlfriend, is really good at knitting and sewing and tons of other things, but especially when it comes to that in particular, we were talking about like making clothes and accessories for the Littlest Pet Shop customs, and I just think that's really fun and cute. And also on my owl LPS custom, she was actually the one that sculpted on the wings for me because she is really good at sculpting. I mean, like I can do it, but she's a little better at things like I feel like in 3D form than I am. It took us a super long time to set up our craft room. We had been living in the house we're in for a couple years and things just kept happening that would get in the way of us having our craft room because ever since we moved in, we knew what we wanted the room to be. And now we have so much fun in it, and it's so nice to work in the same room together on things. I just wanted to take a moment to appreciate my workstation at this point because I had paint literally all over me. But yeah, she has like her desk behind mine, so we have like our backs to each other, but we can just like turn around and talk to each other whenever, or we could just like put our headphones in and work on our own thing. At this point, I'm just pretty much doing final touch ups on the paint job because it's pretty much finished. And I really liked how it was going at this point. I was a little worried for a second there, but I think she ended up turning out super cute. I cut down this footage, but there was just such a long stretch of video where I kept hesitating to put her eye shines in because I was just worried I was going to mess it up. Um, and it didn't help that I was drinking coffee all morning, so my hands were a little unsteady, but I was just like trying to be so careful. And then I ended up putting her little hearts in her eyes. But the dotting tools were really useful here, and I was able to get much cleaner details than I usually am.
Didn't hold a candle to Mario.
Excuse my messy hands and that, but I think the paint job is done. It done. What do you think? I think she turned out so well. Yeah! Now she just has to dry while we go eat lunch and play Animal Crossing. So now I'm just watering down some matte Mod Podge to seal her up. On my other customs, I had the satin finish for Mod Podge, which I didn't really like how it looked. I might go over them now with this matte Mod Podge now that I know that I like how it turns out. So now I'm going to use a top coat for a gel nail polish for the eye shines. This is like my favorite part because the top coat I just feel like brings the eyes to life and makes them so shiny and pretty. And I don't know, it kind of just like melds it together, and leaving the rest of it with a matte finish and the eyes glossy really just makes it stand out. And I have a little UV lamp for her to go into, like a little tanning bed to cure it. Whoa.
What?
She looks neat under her tanning bed. I hope this won't end like Final Destination.
What happened? Die?
Die. Forgot the heart on the butt. She has no heart on her butt. It's unacceptable. So I went ahead and added her tiny little heart very hesitantly because I didn't want to mess anything up and have to fix anything. But yeah, that was the very final touch before she was finally all done. I'm actually extremely obsessed with her. I love how she turned out. So I went ahead and brought her outside for a little photo shoot. I think this definitely inspired me to maybe do more Care Bears if I get any other pandas I don't like. But yeah, this is why I definitely love doing customs, because I took a LPS I wasn't super into and turned it into an art piece I really, really love. So yeah, thanks for watching.
You're shaking it all wrong.
But shaking it's all I know.
Shh. Let me show you how it's done.